I'm within 50 yards or 50 yards or maybe 50 feet of you. How do I get to you without just... I'm right here. I'm pointed towards the sun, but there's another boat pointed opposite direction. Hey guys. Hey. Tell me how to get to where you're at.
Hey, Ken, you left your lights on.
Thanks, Glenn. That's because I was left in the darkness, so I needed to find a way out. Then I guess all three of us did, because we're all three stuck here. Man. What's that? Hey guys, let me lube my lips one more time. Might be the last time I get to refresh before they find my corpse.
Your answer, okay? How long have you been airboating? I've been airboating for 10 years. How do you know these guys? I met these guys because my questions won't appear in anything that we're shooting, okay? So some of your answers won't make sense unless you incorporate my question into your answer. The way we're going to start is...
Not very good at that. I mean, I'm not too good at remembering stuff.
You're going to be fine at it because it's not live. If you want to come to something, or if I need you to say it over again, I'll do it.
Frank's he is actually the man who actually was the base of the poison pig. He had the pig.
He cooked the pig. He cooked the pig, and it was
in his wheatgrass.
He cooked the pig, and it was full of garlic and cloves. And
He brought me
it was actually good.
No, he brought me a suckling pig that had no skin, and that's like, huh? And then I was out of condiments, things that I'm an ex-chef, hotel chef, so I didn't have the condiments I wanted to make it. So I made more of a, he makes an orange duck, an orange pig.
Wait, I got a freezer. To lay down 1, 2 if you want to quickly clean them up.
You play guitar?
We build swimming pools. So when it's rainy and cold and clammy, sometimes we don't work, so we sacrifice a lot to go airboating. If I might go airboating even though I only work 3 days that week. That's a lot of money to go airboating, but it's worth seeing your friends.
Would hear the airboats all night long out frogging and so on. And basically when I met Keith had an airboat, and he would take me out for rides, and I was hooked right then. Knew that I was going to start looking for an airboat.
The sippy cup, it kind of came actually when it started drying up out here. Portions of the year it dries up, and we'll ride four-wheelers down the airboat trails. Well, your drink spills all over the place. Well, when you're on four-wheelers, you don't want your drink to spill. So, usually you want the soft nipple on a four-wheeler, because you can, when you got to really go through a bunch of mud, you can put it in your teeth and, go through it. But on the airboat, the hard nipple cups, which all of us would prefer, are a little bit bigger, and it doesn't bounce around as much.
Where do you work during the week?
What?
What do you do during the week?
During the week, my only transportation is my three-wheeler. I don't have a driver's license, so I drive around from house to house and see if anybody needs any help or anything like that. My hobby is basically fixing on little dirt bikes, four-wheelers, and stuff like that.
I'm Brownwater Dave. I was just Dave. And when you come up here where the swamp hits the river, the first guy I ever met on the river was Camo Ken. And we met and we kind of got knowing each other, and I'd always come out with my bottle and say, hey, anybody want brown water? I guess one day when I was innocent and wasn't even part of it, somebody got talking and Ken said, no, you're talking about River Dave that comes from the river. That's brown water Dave I'm talking about that always offers you brown water. Well, so it stuck, came to be.
I would describe myself as a law bender. I'm not a law breaker. I mean, I've broken the law before, but I try not to. Airboating, it's like we discussed earlier. You're going out on some of the trails, you might not be able to cross that land because you're going above a high water mark, but you jump it because that trail's been there for 30 years. So I think that there's a fine line between a breaker and a bender. And I think that we're all law benders, not breakers. One, two, three, 4 boats are stuck because y'all didn't wait for us.
Bullshit! You didn't.
Yeah, well, we don't know our way around here, man.
Come on, you got the alligator hunter. What's his name?
My Saspy cup has got 5 fractures and 3 cuts in it.
I'd have to say old Brownwater over here. Brownwater, most definitely, I was drinking. Yeah, he's crazy. He gets going, and there's nothing that can stop him. New trails open up every day.
We're not exactly the typical recreational airboaters. We have friends from other areas that'll airboat, and they come and ride with us. And there's different bottoms you put on your boat. There's the slick bottom, and then there's the polymer, which we ride because we're riding logs and rocks and highways. And you know, it seems like every time we invite somebody from another area, they say, screw that, I'm never coming back, because they got to go back and fix their hull or fix their cage, or, you know, because if you're not willing to sacrifice, you're just not going to have a good time. If you don't run over something, it's just, you know, you got to run through something. If you stay on the trail, you might as well just drive your car down the road and look at old towns. It's just one of those things.
I'd say the most shocked that I've been since I met these guys is how they ride. You know, my notion of airboating has always been you ride through the weeds and through the swamp. We do that, but I never knew that we would ride over fire roads or highways to get from one lake to another. Some of the things that we do when we go out and basically blaze trails, literally places that no one has stepped, and we just plow through it, that to me is extremely shocking.
If I could airboat 7 days a week, I would. That's not in the budget.
I'm their mechanic, and when they need something done, it has to be done right now, regardless if it's 10 or 15 people. And in a matter of a week, there's only so much you can do as a single person to correct the problem. There's no way that you can get 15 airboats done in 1 week, because it's not like putting together a puzzle. It's a matter of getting the parts, because you can't go to Discount Auto and pick up an aircraft part. You may have to order from California, you may have to order from Oklahoma. You never know where you have to get the part that actually went bad.
There are many times that I'm following, because again, I'm very new to it. 3 years is nothing. There's a lot of these guys that have 15, 20, 25 years of experience. I can't count how many times I've been following someone, seen where they're going, and really got into a panic and wanted to turn around and go, but there's nowhere to go. Where am I going to go? We're out in the middle of nowhere, literally, and these guys are going that way. I have no choice but to follow them. And yeah, I've been very scared on many occasions. But the nice thing is, once you've done it, yeah, it's another notch in your belt, and you go on to the next thing.
We're, I guess, I don't know if you'd call us law benders. We'd be more like law redirecting. Law, you know, I guess it would be the interpretation of the law, what we do. None of us do anything wrong. We're more of a help to the community, to the management area than we are a hindrance.
This is a blemish from last night. I was wrestling around with a cocky guy around the campfire, and I guess I got a little scuffed up, but I did win the battle. I will tell you that. I whooped that dude. Stubbs he can never claim that he came here and whooped me. And Smokey's a witness.
I'm Dwayne Big Tongue Dooley. They call me Big Tongue because probably the most fun I have on an airboat is just pulling up to woods and kind of trying to see how you can make it through around the trees, through the trees, over palmettos. Just try to go through the woods and get to the water on the other side without getting stuck.
You know, I love my airboat, and it's just a shame that some of the regulations are coming down like they are. But it doesn't really bother me. You know, you get certain groups that just violate people's homes and violate their sound ordinance, and you're at 3 o'clock in the morning blaring away 100 yards off their house. And I love my airboat. I'm passionate about my airboat. But if somebody's at 3 o'clock in the morning 100 yards off my house, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to find out what's going on. And it's a shame that you know, it's like the one bad apple thing. We've got that here. We've got groups that go to different places that people like to stop. And the next day we'll go out and there's piles of trash and broken glass, and we pick it up and we know who it is, but there's no stopping it. So there's just got to be the groups that love it enough to just put up with it and just pick up after it.
No, that's definitely, we would love to make our living on the water, but unfortunately we don't. This is a weekend thing for me. I'm an IT director for a company in Orlando, and on the weekends, I'm have been called the ultimate Volvo with the gun rack, so to speak. Come out, hang loose, go on the river, go through the swamp, enjoy ourselves, and have a good time.
Where can we go? The challenge is where we can go. Let's find a new way to go from point A to point B, and there is a trail, Lanes Trail, that we have tried. We've made it through 3 times. There have been many boats broken on it, many boats, you know, sunk, and we just can't seem to. That's my nemesis. Something that I want to attain, and I don't know ever if I'll attain it.
I think we really, as a group, we love to come to Ken's house and hang out because, you know, Ken's a unique character. Ken's a really good friend. Ken is one of those people that you could call at 2 in the morning and he would be there for you. This is the ultimate man cave. You know, if you're busy and you have a stressed out week, you come to Ken's house. This is where we all hang. He has a plethora of very cool stuff. It seems like he rides his airboat more than he works, which is our dream.
Keith, Buzz, he goes out and he runs his boat to the extreme, the hardest as you could run a boat. I mean, I've been with him. I rode on Drew's boat. I built his engine too. And I was sitting there one day, this is an example, and Keith is out there. He tries to go through a bunch of trees one day, and it's to the floor for literally 20 minutes. Probably 15 at least. And he cannot let off the gas. I told Drew at the time, I said, what does he think this is gonna do? It's gonna grenade, something's gonna happen. He's gonna break something. But no, he cannot let off the gas because he is determined to go through there without getting off the boat and cutting a tree down or doing whatever. He's pissed off, mad because the boat won't go through there. And this particular engine that he has is not as strong as other engines. So he just he thinks that he can follow Brownwater Dave through this. When Brownwater Dave has a 540 spacer plate engine, which is a lot more horsepower. And he just sits there and he's got to the floor. And the inevitability is, if you took your car out and you put it up against a tree and held it to the floor, what do you expect is going to happen? You're going to have problems. You don't do that, right? You don't hold a brake down and put it to the floor for 20 minutes at a time. No matter how good the engine's built, you're going to cause some kind of problem.
It is so unique out here. You drive down this beat old 2-mile dirt road and you come to this. And you can only pick up so much trash to make it look good on your way down here. And then some jerk's gonna throw his booze bottle or his Mountain Dew can out the window and trash the river or trash the road.
Who pisses you off more than anybody you run into in the course of a week?
Co-workers. That's about it. I don't really.
Who pisses you out? Who pisses you off out on the water?
There's really not too many people. Just litter bugs. There's no set person. Because you got to be friends with everybody when you live out here. Because that's the only people that you got. You can't be mad at your neighbors, even though sometimes I have been. But if your house is on fire, you don't want them to, hey, Ken's house is burning. Good, you let them move out. They go back and take a shower.